for Section 14. We see farmers being arrested just by Trafalgar Square. It's absolutely outrageous. This is absolutely scandalous. It's unacceptable. That's why we're saying we stand with our farmers together. Look at this, going through all his personal things. I mean, if this doesn't make your blood boil, Britain, if this doesn't make your blood, and how the Met Police suddenly have decided to get all strong after 2 years of some of the things we've been seeing going on here. When people talk about two-tier policing, I mean, this is the kind of thing they're talking about.
Yeah, it was banned right at the 11th hour. The organisers of this protest on Budget Day have been working, they say, for 3 or 4 weeks with the police, arranging 400 to 500 tractors to come down to Whitehall on Budget Day, protesting those inheritance tax reforms. At about 3:30 yesterday afternoon, the organisers were told, no, you cannot do it. It's going to cause too much serious disruption.
A few brave farmers have managed to get through. It's impressive, even though there's been a cordon to try and stop them. Here we are. There's a few that have got through to Trafalgar Square. They've been blocked off in Whitehall.
Dan, what was your reaction last night when you were told you're not allowed to come here anymore?
Absolutely devastated. Absolutely devastated. You know, and being able to get the word out to everybody is impossible. They were coming anyway. You know, the Met unfortunately have scored an own goal here and created carnage. You know, we know it's come from government. We know they don't want to listen to us, whether in the House or on the street. But we need a right, you know, we need to exercise our right to protest. And at the end of the day, that's what's happening today.
This is their thoughts of the budget last year. This was all going to happen outside Downing Street. It was all approved, according to the Met Police, but cancelled at the 11th hour. Many of the farmers had come from Yorkshire. They had come from Somerset down here to protest. They've been pushed to a side road here by the Farmers Club instead of being allowed outside Downing Street, and instead they're holding their protest here. Shredding last year's budget is the picture that they wanted to see outside Downing Street today.
We want to be on side with them, but of course we feel they weren't on side with us because of some two-tier policing. We've read that there's going to be other demonstrations, other protests down Whitehall. It's going to be closed for them. It's not being closed for us today. It had been closed before, so there's no reason why not, unless the Met have been got at from someone up above, and maybe Starmer or Reeves said, I don't want them down there, but we're here and we're not going away because it's our livelihoods, and our livelihoods feed you, and every meal starts with a farmer.
I don't think I'm a social justice warrior. Maybe for animals, non-political, and stupidity. I try and keep it fair. Not that that does you any good. If the fairer you try to be, the more balanced, the more you try to see both sides of the argument, the more you're hated by both sides because you're not 100% on their side. So you literally can't win. There is no value to being logical and you know, really tolerant, properly liberal, right? Because both sides want to fight and they want to bring down. They're not listening to the argument or the principle. They just want to win the argument. Where likes and retweets are more important than actually being right within yourself. So I hope I'm not I wouldn't want to be a social justice warrior unless it's for, you know, actual, you know, a no-brainer, you know, stop bullfighting. Who's going to argue with that? Well, bullfighters, I guess.
Today you've just broken your manifesto pledges and your promise to millions of workers. In the budget last year you would not extend the threshold. How in good conscience can you stay on in your job?
In the manifesto, we were very clear. It was the rates of income tax, national insurance and VAT. But I'm not going to get into semantics. I recognise that we are asking people to contribute more by freezing those allowances.
Today, she has announced a new tax rate of £26 billion. They're all cheering. Household income is down. Spending policies in this budget increase borrowing in every year. That smorgasbord of misery we just heard from her can be summed up in one sentence. Labour are hiking taxes to pay for welfare. This is a budget for Benefit Street, Madam Deputy Speaker, paid for by working people. This budget increases benefits for 560,000 families by an average of £5,000. They are hiking taxes on workers, pensioners and savers to pay for handouts to keep their backbenchers quiet.
This morning we're holding a protest outside Southampton Docks to show our anger at the Labour government not changing their plans on the IHT, and we're just sending them a warning shot that if this next budget goes badly, we're going to be out in force and we will shut the country down permanently.
So I've just come from watching the budget, and surprise, surprise, Rachel Reeves has broken her promise to you yet again. In fact, after her budget, she will have increased taxes 7 times more than she promised at the general election. And it means that working people are going to be worse off. In fact, according to her forecasts, working people are going to have less money in their pockets every single year until the next general election. And why? Because she's spending more on benefits, on illegal migrants and her trade union backers. It's wrong, it's unfair, and frankly, she needs to be given the boot.
I think I do give a fuck. I really do. But you've got to be quite militant about your right to give your opinion. And that's controversial these days. Even standing up for your right to speak seems to suddenly be controversial. Like, there's this thing that goes around about because freedom of expression means you could say something nasty, we should curb freedom of expression. That doesn't make any sense to me. Both sides should be fighting for freedom of speech. That's the one thing that whatever side you're on, you should fight for. And I'm suspicious of people who don't like freedom of speech, because that makes me think they don't want to hear something, or they don't want other people to hear something. You know, that's all rights come from freedom of expression. They're all based on it. This new thing that, you know, you might say something that upsets someone, so you shouldn't say it. That's ludicrous. I mean, I suppose that is a I don't give a fuck attitude there. But I'm right.
Gary, what happened to you this morning?
So on the drive-in, we got stopped by the police. I blew my horn. They came round to me and said, you need to get out of your tractor because you've committed an offence, and they arrested me, put me in handcuffs for that reason.
Put you in handcuffs for blowing your horn?
Behind my back. They weren't just like here, it was properly up my back.
I genuinely think people will be shocked by that. I am going to be taking this up with the Metropolitan Police Commissioner. I just find this extraordinary that someone who has come here peacefully to protest, who was driving his tractor through London, gets stopped by the police for blowing his horn. You could not make it up.
Carrying on top of my tractor in front of the horse guards, all the way to Big Ben. Tractors are parked up. They're still pouring in the back, and they just keep on coming. Thousands of tractors here. Back British farmers.
Kier Starmer! Kier Starmer! Kier Starmer! Kier Starmer! Kier Starmer! Kier Starmer!
We can't really fight harder, Bev, because if we go out and we start spraying manure about everywhere, I'm sure that's what they want us to do, so they can close us down, and they will close down all demonstrations, rallies or protests, whatever you want to call them, because they say that we're the big bad guys, we've caused too many problems.
If we don't get a reversal, they've got to amend this policy. I mean, a reversal, I think, is actually the best thing, to be quite honest. But if they don't amend this policy, it's going to bankrupt just about every family farm. When they have a parent die, that's going to be the end of their business.
And we're hearing things in the budget, leaks about income tax, pensions, properties. What would be the rabbit out of the hat for farmers today?
It'd be quite nice to be acknowledged that we actually exist rather than just feeling completely betrayed by the government, and really it is the government we're betrayed by.